Also, BKB has been hitting some fantastic hooks here.
Yeah, he looks good today, landing those hooks here. Well, game number 2, which battleground are we going to? Where our teams continue to do battle. It's going to be Dragon Shire. As the good guys will have the pick of the battleground, as the Playing Ducks will take first pick.
All right, so at that point, Dragon Shy again by the good guys, and we have a map where there's a lot of heroes that they like to play that really excel on the map. We've talked already a bit about how Chen can really play well. And the interesting part is, you remember when we had Chen appearing in Phase 1 for the first time? It was on the side of the Playing Ducks. They played Chen, they played it on Dragonshire, and it was one of the suggestions of Antihero. He talks, yeah, exactly. He talked a lot to Nande and Chris, and they were talking about what could fit there. So that was one of the reasons why they put that in. It's not that it is a guarantee that we're going to see the hero, but it's a high possibility on that map. There's a couple of other solo laners that we have been talking about. Malthiel, Sonya, Leori can be played here. But I'm excited to see what that solo lane is shaping up to. Especially, I finally want to see Malthiel in a real solo lane without an Abathur. I want to see how these trades going to work out, because I've seen a few scrims, we've seen a few games, but most of the time there were always factors that didn't really tell you how much of an impact it's going to have. But right now it looks as if the Ducks are even saying, you know what, we don't even want to deal with him, so let's just get him out of here.
Or they could be banning the Playing Ducks, taking away the Malthiel, not going to be available for them. Are they going to go ahead and decide to get rid of it? They decide to. Do they really think that Team Good Guys would grab that in the early rotation, though?
Could be. I've seen teams value Malthiel very differently. Some let him slip through the draft completely, and I've seen others that just take him on the first pick immediately. I guess for the Ducks it was from the get-go that they wanted to go into their Dehaka, and Dehaka has, if played well, actually a losing matchup against Malthiel, so they might have been afraid of facing that top lane and putting Dehaka out, having a Dehaka that is pressured so hard that they can't get enough value out of him. Might be an explanation here. Maybe it's just a general thing.
Well, Team Good Guys get the Oriole as well as the Uther for their counter pickup. We did see Malthiel get played once by the Good Guys yesterday. I just checked to make sure, and it actually was on this battleground where we had Antihero pick it up. So the Malthiel ban making sense.
Uther Oriole is disgusting. If you have a hope generator on Oriole, you're never going to lose a team member in a team fight. It is insane. You're trying to burst someone down, Divine Shield.
So many saving tools, yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to fight around it again, Aegis. Aegis pops, bam, there's another heal. And if both of them coordinate their heals really well, it is so insanely difficult to actually kill someone. That start into the draft is already scaring me. The Ducks have a fantastic opening too, don't get me wrong. You have a Dehaka in the top lane, you have an Anubarak, which is awesome as well. But the Good Guys have so many options at this point, how they could just deviate from this and flex out. Because what do you ban when you're the Playing Ducks? Do you ban the Illidan? Do you ban the Vala? What do you get rid of?
Yeah, and there's no options. They go to different paths, and they can build it out there. So the Uther Oriole pickup is great here for the Good Guys. I'm wondering if they're going to try and go with the support ban here. Getting rid of the Rhaegar could be pretty strong here. Tassadar is still floating around, but I think I would prefer to get rid of Rhaegar if I wanted to make sure that Cleanse was available.
Definitely an option.
Yeah.
You can ban out the Rhaegar if you want here. If you can get rid of the Cleanse immediately, that's already a great start. Karazim has, of course, his cleansing dash, but that's coming online really late, so you can exploit the early game. But you could ban a support, you can ban another damage dealer from the backline here, a mage if you're worried about it. Li Ming, since oftentimes we see Genji and Li Ming appear on the same team to get the double resets and then really snowball those fights. But they get rid of the Gul'dan, targeting Chris here also with the ban potentially. But yeah, I'm happy for this ban. I really want to see what the Ducks are valuing at this point. Because you look at this and you have to think about two heroes in particular right now. The Illidan and the Vala. Those are the two that immediately jump to mind when you're seeing the Uther and the Oriole on the other side.
We're looking at the Lenara, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Really. They'll lock it in, man. Oriole taken away, or Lenara taken away here.
Let's think about this for a second. Maybe they are... If they do not ban... Let's say they ban Vala. Then Illidan and Lunara is again a possibility.
Sure. They ban Illidan. Only Vala or Lenara gets picked up.
I would have banned Illidan. Because you can't deny them a good you can't deny them a good range damage dealer that can play with the double support. So if they really want to play the Illidan game, they're going to go Illidan and Vala. So they have the Vala, they have the Stitches, and they still have the chance to go into the Illidan later on. The chances that the Ducks are picking the Illidan for themselves with this draft are pretty slim. Shouldn't really happen here. That would make them way too frontline heavy, and then the good guys could react to the last pick. So banning the Lunara just simply says good guys are switching out the Lunara for the Vala. If you ban the Illidan, on the other hand, then you are in a situation in which you can actually rely on your opponent, only relying on the backliner. So there's the Illidan again. I would have banned the Illidan, hands down.
Well, the thing we'll look at the composition for playing Ducks, though. They do have tools to handle that Illidan. I mean, Anubarak, Dehaka by themselves, they feel comfortable, especially with that Cassie being there. The only one you have to really protect, because the other ones can finagle around the fight, right? They can dance around, is that Morales. And Morales, if your positioning is on point, shouldn't have too much coming your way. So them knowing that Illidan is a possibility and something the team good guys want to go into, they just draft to a spot where it's like, hey, if they do get Illidan, I don't mind it. Look at Cassie here, dropping blinds, being able to poke.
True, but my argument would be, why deal with him?
Maybe they believe.
They have much better tools than on the first match.
Sure.
I completely agree with you. They have a lot of tools they can use against the Illidan. But you know, more or less for a fact, after the Uther and the Oriel combo has been dropped, that your opponent is looking for at least a range damage dealer they want to do damage with. The two that jump to mind after what the good guys have shown are Lunara and Vala. So you know that they're interchangeable. You're not going to go for both. The chance of that happening are pretty slim. So your opponent is either going to take the Vala or going to take the Lunara. So with you banning the Lunara out because they showed a preference on the previous map, you say, take the Vala, here we go. But the Illidan is still a constant in both compositions. If you take, yes, you have better tools to deal with him, but if you take him away, whatever comes your way is much easier to deal with than with him, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you're bringing up good points. I think it's just a preferred method of what the playing Ducks want to go into, and I'm okay with it. You have one more chance here before you're in a spot where you're out of the tournament. At least try to handle the Illidan yourself. And they're going to try to do so, actually. It's game number 2. It's time to start Dragonshire. The playing Ducks taking on the good guys. Can they handle the Illidan, or are they going to have to take Caldor's advice and ban him on game number 3? We'll see.
They have to show it right now that they're able to deal with Illidan, so let's go straight into the game and make sure that we're going to get our second map in. Of course, we have the lead for the good guys at this point. But yeah, overall, they have said, the playing Ducks have said, we can deal with Illidan. We're not afraid of banning him out, so we're just going to make sure that we're going to handle him with the blinds, as you said, with the Cassia maybe here. But that's going to be... I'm curious to see if they can pull it off, because I'm a bit skeptical at this point. After what I've saw on last map, I think you have an easier game if you get rid of the Illidan. But if they are confident, then they have a chance to prove it now.
Here's the point to do it. You have Dehaka on the top lane, can rotate with the Illidan, and you have the Cassia. Can Morales stay alive long enough to actually handle the pressure coming their way? We'll find out on Dragonshire. Here we go. Take 2. It's game number 2 between our teams.
Game number 2 in the series as the playing Ducks are going up against the good guys once again. And they have to prove now that they are able to deal with anti-heroes Illidan. To the left, we have Sport Billy on Genji for the playing Ducks. We see Wolf John Morales, Chris on Cassia, Nan on Anubarak, and Eternal on Dehaka.
On the right side, in the red team, good guys. Very new team here to the HGC. Anti-hero on the Illidan, Raid Boss on the Vala, Kronas on Ariel, BKB on Stitches, and Zay playing Uther.
Zay on the Uther here. So we have our double support once again. BKB will rely on the hooks and the tools on the side of the Ducks against Illidan. Mainly stuns. Looking, of course, for the drag on Dehaka, looking for the stuns from Anubarak, and on top of all of this, it is the Cassia. With the blinds, with the damage, trying to burst them down. Pretty rough. The good guys have a lot of tools with the potential Divine Shield, and also the potential Aegis here. Eternal already getting a bit of a taste of what happened in the last game.
Dehaka, is he going to roar to the top? Okay, fine. Stitch is trying to hold him down, and Ariel gets picked up. The Ducks coming out with some fire here, but remember, this also happened on Towers of Doom. They got 2 kills in the early game.
Yeah, it seems that the good guys are a bit too far out on the map in the early game. They had the same problem in the first game. They are now losing again another member, so these moves are just... It seems to be even a little bit predictable that they are struggling in these early stages, not seeing the rotation coming their way and just being a bit too far out. They only lost 1 hero. It's not really a big deal as long as someone else takes experience in the early game for you on the lane. But of course, it takes a bit away from how aggressive you can be.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious thing in the early game is I want to be able to make sure that I don't feed, but if I'm going to feed, at least do it in the early game rather than the late game, right? You have small cooldown timers or death timers, you can move back into the fight, and Team Good Guys just need to turn it up a little bit in terms of being more willing to fight their opponents. Now, this is a competition that we saw yesterday that was actually pretty scary. Morales and Cassia in a lane of 2 can actually handle a 3-lane pressure coming their way. It's actually a bit of adaptation to the constant double support we've been seeing a lot.
Yeah, at this point, what I also want to see is how Wolf Joe transitions into the late game, because Morales is absolutely fantastic if you can stay in the back and you can do your thing. And as long as we have the laning phase, that is going to be okay for them. I am more worried about what happens in the later stages when Illidan is joining a lot of these fights and can jump onto Morales. Because the problem is when you are running, you're not healing. So that's going to be a bit of an issue.
Well, that's that. We'll see how that happens here as Stitches was picked up in the middle. Playing Ducks keeping up with their trends of getting 2 kills on their opponents apparently in the early game. Team Good Guys losing out in ammo here in the middle. Having a hard time with this push that keeps coming their way. Now the Dragon has been grabbed. Can Sport Billy finish it? He does. Early Dragon here for Ducks.
Yeah, so it's a really early objective. It shouldn't really do too much. It's of course a great boost for the Ducks here. They will set themselves apart here by taking a few of the towers down. But a Dragon Knight 2 minutes and 40 seconds in shouldn't be able to do too much damage. The Good Guys comp will go strong once after they hit again the level 10, so that Hunt can play a big role here and they have their pseudo global. For now they're just trying to hold the fort down. But overall the Ducks are, especially this early game situation, they're really trying to exploit it here.
That was ridiculous. We had Kurnoz coming with a detainment strike, Zaystone as well, and Raid Boss coming up with the attacks, and Morales and Chris won that trade handedly. The charged Spike on the level 1 coming in there and absolutely just shredding, and you have the safeguard for when that stun comes in and you lose your trait on the Cassia to keep Cassia at a spot where she can't be focused down.
So the early game for the Ducks is fantastic, and they will... Their job is to push the advantage now. They need to make sure that they're getting as much out of the early game as they possibly can, ideally set themselves heavily apart from the Good Guys, so that once Illidan has a chance to pick up some momentum with level 10 and with the support from Divine Shield and Aegis, is going to have a very rough time to close that gap. If the Ducks can do that, they have a very good chance of taking this game and tying up the series. It all comes down to the question, can the Good Guys survive long enough to get good fights on even footing later on in the game?
Let's see if they can do that here. Morales already preparing herself for that mid-game at level 4, picking up the automated block. Every 5 seconds she gets that charge, up to 3 charges of 50% block, which will make it much more easier for her to handle the Illidan damage that comes her way. But will it be enough? Especially if you have to use a safeguard on yourself. If you're able to lock down Chris, that Cassia, you might be able to get the focus down. Zay in trouble though, a little bit too far out. Helping hand over the wall. BKB, he's got you, BB.
That is still a theme though that they have to be careful of. You are an Uther that is this far out on the lane. You have no business there if you don't know where your opponent is. And these rotations have put them under a lot of pressure already several times. So that is an issue. Anti-hero, barely gets behind the wall.
He took a gamble there. Typically you do 1 dodge before you pop in because you're expecting a skill shot to come out. And he said, you know what? I'm used to the 1 dodge coming out. Usually people are a little bit patient. I'm just going to walk in a straight line against a Haka.
Yeah.
And it paid off. That was a gamble.
It was definitely a gamble, but it worked out for him. But overall, we are still looking at a game in which we have an entire level lead on the side of the playing Ducks, and they are behind in the series. So they are currently doing well, and they just have to focus. They are definitely a team that is strong enough to take this game. So at this point, they have to just prove that they are with Eternal on a level to what they've shown in the last season. They are a fantastic team. They have a lot of potential. Sport Billy, he has shown great heroes. He has now another one with a very high skill ceiling on the Genji. So he can pop off in one of these fights. If he starts to get the resets, this is going to be good for the Ducks.
Well, so far the Ducks have been playing very well in the early game. They are very close to 10, about a third of a level of experience away from it, as to where you look at the Good Guys, and they're not even close to level 9 yet. The Good Guys just set themselves up for a Dragon that will be coming. They grab Mercs on the bottom to get some attention pushing somewhere to maybe pull away their opponents, while the playing Ducks easily nab a Dragon, easily nab level 10, and start to push in the middle.
Yeah, and this is exactly the problem that we've been talking about already early on. If the good guys are struggling against the Dragonites and against the momentum that the Ducks are trying to pick up here, then they will fall farther and farther behind and never be able to get these fights. But they're still waiting for the 10, and that comes in half a level. So right now they're not losing forts yet, it's all about the front wall, and they are willing to sacrifice a few towers. But for Sportbilly and his boys, this just means once again that they are able to pick up another level lead.
And with the hook being down, Sportbilly will just charge forward here and start putting damage on the fort. We even have the Haka come in for the rotation. Can he land a drag on anyone? BKB seems to be the target. BKB with the dodge, and Corona's coming in with the Containment Strike to keep him alive. Wolf Joe, though, low. He was taking the tower. He's going to have to use the medic.
Yeah, he uses the medivac. Here comes the Cocoon, though, trying to save them. And they're able to move away. Quick punt. The problem, Sportbilly, is still on Genji. Can they stop him after the Swift Strike? He moves away. Hook is
Stun.
hitting, and
Hunt.
here comes Illidan. The Cleanse is saving him here.
A little bit too much in the CC coming out, and they're going to nab the Illidan, and playing Ducks will play around here as they move straight in. They're going straight for raid boss.
It was really well done by the Ducks. That was actually great. We're trying to simply lock down Genji. Maybe to just let him slide there, but you could tell once 10 was reached, good guys were looking for a fight.
And playing Ducks are looking much more confident here, moving in for the aggressiveness. Love that cleanse from Wolf Joe, keeping him alive here. Bit of a weird situation where he had to use medevac underneath the fort, but it all is good for them as they're able to walk away, earn a victory, and move closer to level 13 as they hit 12.
So they went into the Divine Storm, and I'm not 100% certain if they actually need that. I personally think that I would have liked the Divine Shield a bit more. The Divine Storm helps you a lot against Genji, so a really cool idea for them is, of course, to, after a hook, lock the target down with the first stun, get a Divine Storm in. They can do a lot with this, but if they are the ones initiating the fights, I really think that having the Divine Shield on top of it to help out either the Illidan or the Vala might have been a better option there.
Yeah, it's a matter of preference to me. You have the ability to handle the Genji, but also to make sure to lock down that Cassie if you ever get the flank on there. You bring out the stuns, Divine Shield, or Divine Storm.
Both of them have definitely the advantages and disadvantages depending on how you want to play it here. Now the Ducks take the level lead still, and that means that they hit level 13 now. They have 3 kills against 0 on the map. They're looking so far quite strong. It's a level difference, so it's not too crazy at this point, but the level 13 talent is of course giving them an edge as we see the shrine spawn in another 20 seconds again.
Anti-Hero moving forward here, getting aggressive. Thurnal's been really in his face, but the moment Anti-Hero showed some forms of aggression, Thurnal pulls back and he plays safe, realizing that a push could be on their way. Instead, the good guys will push forward and elite scrap turrets, and they're trying to get this forward. They want to get 13, but this allows the playing Ducks in the middle to push in as well and come in for a flank.
The trade would still be better if they get a trade on the forts. That would be way better for the good guys since they want the talent. But here comes the Haka now. Xie is on the run. If he gets body blocked here by Illidan, that's an issue. He moves out already. Xie is dodging everything except the tongue, and that might force them back. They're starting to fight here. Cocoon is about to be burned down. Here comes Illidan. They're going for Nubarak. The cleanse is out, but Nanda is about to fall. Both of them died. The Haka down, and Nubarak is as well dead. The hook hits, and it hits hard. They're going for Morales, trying to burn the medivac, and they do.
They get it. Raid Ball's got a full duration strafe off that just completely annihilated the entire team. 3 people falling, and even Morales trying to get out couldn't deal with the pressure coming their way. And the good guys fighting a talent down actually walk away with the victory, can start moving in on the Dragon Shrine here and try to grab the Dragon.
And especially Vala with the entire strafe duration provides so much hope for Oriel to get these heals in. It is super scary. So they go for the trade, they send Cassie to the top. If they start channeling the Dragon right now, they have it 100% secure.
Channeling.
And they do. So they have Xie on the Dragon. It's perfect. One of the 2 supports is taking it here. And they are starting to just take a few of the structures down. So this is exactly what the Ducks were trying to prevent. They were really attempting to make sure that they push the good guys down and keep them low in experience. Now they have closed the gap. So for the good guys, this is pretty decent. How much value, though, can they get out of the DK?
Well, the value is actually coming in the form of the top lane. We have the Mercenaries grabbing the right side, the Night Camp, so it's pushing the top with Illidan helping. So this is the spot where Team Good Guys can play safe, float around the side, keep the attention of the Ducks, and if anyone rotates to the top, like Dahaka here, who used Brushstock earlier, we can have Illidan hunt in and force a fight. The Team Good Guys are separating the entire map here. They have a person on the top, a couple in the middle, the Dragon now rotating to the bottom to join on the other members. Anti-Hero's by himself in a 2v1, and he's just dancing, dude. He's thinking it's a fort.
Yeah, he wants to fort, and he can always jump out, and that's exactly what he does. He will have... Okay, now he's just showing off.
Can we get the fourth though? Hero minion should finish it. There we go.
The thing is, if you watch his stream, you know exactly how he actually reacted. He was just sitting there, was like, "You guys serious? You have no chance." And he moves out with a hunt, dodges, but Dehaka is already down in the bot lane, and this is where the party starts again. And Nubarak is down after Zay moves in with a stun. They get the Divine Storm in. Antir is low, gets killed. Sportbilly with a reset gets a second as Uther falls, and all of a sudden the Ducks turn the fight around.
Sportbilly making this fight worth it for the playing Ducks. He's looking for more. Eternal with the movement speed. Can he land the tongue? He's going for it. Coronas is freaking out, but BKB goes forward to tank it. The Aegis does pop out, and Raid Boss will answer back. A 2-for-1 trade in the favor of the playing Ducks.
It was well done by BKB, just saying if they get the drag against Oriel, then we are going to lose everyone here. So he just went in, blocked the path, said, I'm willing to sacrifice myself, so to say, because he knew that Oriel would keep him alive. Now they have the 16, and that's another big boost for them at this point, especially since we're now having even more pressure towards the tanks. If you're looking at the talent that has been picked up by Vala, they're seeing her go straight into the Manticore. And we also have on top of that now the Pulverize and Benediction. Massive power spike for the Ducks.
Manticore very effective here too, with Dehaka having the isolation instead of adaptation. Easier to focus him down and get rid of it. Burn through the essence there. You actually out-damage the essence healing over time, so good there for the Manticore if you're able to get those 3 strikes on Dehaka. And so far, Team Good Guys, their strategy has been there to handle the Dehaka when he comes in. Every single time that we've seen him move forward and go for a drag, Uther walks forward, does the stun, and is willing to put out the Divine Storm just to focus him down.
Nice timing here by Wolfjo, by the way. Really trying to time that properly. With the pressure on the lane. Bot lane, on the other hand, is now also being pushed down by one of the Night Camps up to the top. Eternal is there. Oh, yeah, this is a dead Illidan. Well done. That was actually a really cool move, using the isolation here, Eternal moving in. These ganks is what... This is what the playing Ducks excel at in this particular game now. I really like the way they are running this. So Illidan is down for 30 seconds. That shouldn't mean a Dragon Knight for the playing Ducks, because we still have a situation in which Illidan can hunt if he needs to. But that was really well done. I love how the Ducks are setting up games here.
Yeah, great hit there. Isolation being utilized, down for still 25 seconds, but this might be enough of a window here for the Ducks to grab the bottom shrine and move in for the Dragon. Dehaka's over there. Okay, BKB moves forward. Slow it down.
They go in the middle. Illidan is back in 2 seconds, so they can fight here. And their 16 power spike is much stronger, in my opinion, than what we see on the playing Ducks. Especially when we're looking at Vala, when we're looking at Oriel and what she offers now for Illidan and for Vala. The Stitches with the Pulverize, they're going in. Illidan is not hunting just yet. Here comes the Stasis. Illidan is closing in on the minimap, wants to get into hunt range, but they're zoning them out already. Hook hits,
stun.
And the stun, they're going in and they take him down.
Massive Divine Storm as well. Genji gets hit there. He's low on health. Can Antihero get it? He does. Wolfjo is the next target. Can he go in? He does. He's diving in, bringing up the damage. Nande low on health. Nande also does get out.
Antihero, channeling the rage of 1,000 Hero League games, goes in and drops them one after another. They get the triple kill and move straight down to the bot lane.
That they do. They move in. They're going to open this keep wall there. 3 down for 20 seconds. Only in a Nubarak and a Dehaka here for defense. Now, the playing Ducks could make a play here to move in and grab the Dragon at least, but here's the major threat.
They could
Team
core.
Good Guys could core. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're already burning it down. And if you get a Dragon, there's no way you're defending it. So the playing Ducks have to pull back, and they have to get on Illidan.
They have an Illidan, exactly. He's the one they need to be worried about. Antir is just chomping away. In the meantime, Nande is low. The Benediction stuns come in, and he falls. Putrid Bile is used, and Illidan in the meantime is hunting once again. The strafe is popped, a kill, the double. Castian Dehaka down they go for Genji, and he is falling too. Team Good Guys once again victorious. They take their game. They are victorious here on Dragonshire with their Illidan composition. They shut the Ducks down hard and take the 2-0 lead in the series.
Team Good Guys surprising us all today, coming out with the victory. Playing very well this weekend, and enough here to put the playing Ducks pretty far behind. And we got to talk about it, Caldor. Illidan ban? Question mark?
I would have banned Illidan over the Lunara.
Well, we'll have to find out.
I mean, hindsight again is 2020, but I said it before we headed into the game. I think if you get rid of the Illidan, you have a much easier game. You still are having a problem with the double support hyper carry. That's not going to change, but the Illidan factor is going to be removed from the equation.
All right, we'll figure out if Illinois will be banned in game number 3 when we come back from a commercial break. We'll see good guys as they continue to take on the Playing Ducks. This is the HGC.